And then I was just thinking out loud. I was like, what if the car calls the cops on you?
You're going to jail.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer. Hey, what's up, guys? This is MJ100K, and today we got to talk about distracted driver technology and also proposed drunk driver detection technology that is coming to a vehicle near you. This is a continuation of the last podcast I did where I talked about GM's Super Cruise system that already has distracted driver technology, but people went crazy in the comments and they are upset.
Oh, what the frick?
I was just trying to give you some new technologies, information about new technology. I was trying to highlight, felt like GM's doing a good job with it, but people are upset because of the privacy concerns.
That's crazy.
So I brought my friend Dane onto the podcast because we want to get his perspective. He is a big GM fan, and we want to see what he thinks. I haven't even told him what the topic of the show is because I want to get his live reaction. Did you know about this technology?
No, and I want to be able to drive my truck as drunk as I want.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, you may not be able to do that for very much longer. Cadillac has this system. It's a semi-autonomous driving system. And what it does, it'll hold you in your lane, and it also has adaptive cruise control to where it'll keep you at a certain speed, and if the vehicle in front of you slows down, it'll slow down at the same time so that you don't hit them. So so here it is. You see this light on the steering wheel, Dane?
Yep.
That is there to it'll flash if it feels like you're not paying attention, because with this technology is not autonomous driving. It's just there to help you a little bit. Pay attention, or you could get in an accident because a car can't completely drive itself. So if it senses that you're not paying attention, this little light on the steering wheel will start blinking. And then if you're still not paying attention, your seat will vibrate. And then if you're still not paying attention, a voice will come on, tell you, I guess it'll say, pay attention or whatever. And then if you're still not paying attention, the car will slow down, and it'll, I don't know if it'll get off the road, but it'll slow down, it'll stop. So this is already in the 2023 Lyriq, the Escalade, the XT6, CT4, CT5, CT6. They have this Super Cruise system. So Dane, what do you think about this so far?
It seems like a lot of nannies.
Hello!
And at first glance, it seems like this is the response for people that hate the Tesla Auto Cruise that's not fully autonomous. And I think you can go up on the YouTube and find videos of the autonomous Teslas crashing into things, and it's really easy for the driver to be completely absent inside of that car. And it sounds like these are just nannies put in place to make sure every so often you're at least doing something with your inputs and not just taking a nap in the back seat.
Yeah. Well, speaking of naps, I want to show you a video of what happens. Of what happens, why they have all these nannies on there. Okay. I know people feel like this is nanny situation, but sometimes we need a nanny. So let me show you this. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Alarming video that state police say shows extremely dangerous behavior. A man and woman both apparently asleep in the front seat as their Tesla seems to keep driving, presumably in autopilot mode. Dakota Randall says the car was doing 55 miles per hour.
I did a double take, looked over, and sure enough, this guy was just head between his legs, completely asleep.
It's happened before. In June, this driver was asleep at the wheel of a Tesla on the 405 in Los Angeles. In 2018, a Tesla driver slammed into the back of a stopped fire engine. The NTSB blamed driver inattention and over-reliance on the driver assistance system. The NTSB is still investigating a fatal Tesla crash in 2018 in California and another last March in Florida. Before enabling autopilot, Tesla says drivers must agree to keep your hands on the steering wheel at all times and pay attention. If a driver takes his hand off the wheel, the car immediately responds with visual and then audio warnings.
Drivers are believing that the cars are autonomous. There are no fully autonomous vehicles that are on the market today.
It may be called autopilot, but police are warning this is a very bad idea. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Hey, NBC.
All right, so you see that, Dane?
Yeah.
Now you see why you need a nanny.
Yeah, I see why. And yeah, I get it, right? And that's autopilot is not what it sounds like. I mean, that guy hit it, right? There is no fully autonomous. Tesla says that they will have full autonomous capability with the technology that's already out on some of these cars. And it'll be like an over-the-air update. I don't see it happening, but yeah, these things happen. I mean, yeah, you still have to be there to take over control, which I can go down another path and say, I don't even know why the hell you'd offer it then.
Why would you offer it if you can't do it?
Why do you offer autopilot if it's not autopilot? You still got a baby. If you're driving the car, but you cannot drive the car, but then you still have to kind of be driving the car.
You're like, what's the point?
What the hell are we doing here? You know what I'm gonna buy? I'm gonna buy a Tesla when they have real autopilot, and then they have a steering wheel in that thing. It's just a tube with a bed. I can just type in an address. I can go to sleep, and I can wake up halfway across the country wherever I want to be. That's when I'll buy a Tesla autopilot.
Well, let me try to answer what I think is the answer to the question.
Yep.
Okay. Why come out with semi-autonomous first? Okay. A lot of this information is relying on AI.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to actually try to use it for a long time to build up more data to make the AI stronger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the more you use it, the more it'll learn.
Yep.
So unless they have a lot of people using it or trying to use the semi-autonomous, I don't think the autonomous is ever going to be ready.
Yeah. And as a purchaser of a Tesla, you're aware that you're a beta tester and you're collecting that data, but you and I aren't Tesla owners, and we're also beta testers because we're responsible if we get crashed into by a Tesla.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, since you mentioned Tesla, so since this video, I've done some more automotive nerd research. And I have found out that there are a lot of OEMs that already have these systems. Now they're divided up between, they all basically do the same thing. They keep you in your lane and they keep you going at the flow of traffic, basically. Yep. It can slow down for you if traffic slows down. If traffic speeds up, it can speed up to a certain speed. Yep. But the two things that are different are the way that it monitors you. Okay. Now, that's what I think people in the comments were concerned the most about, is they don't want the car with a camera watching you because they feel like the government is going to take advantage of that one day, right?
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, I'm going to show you some of the other OEMs that have this, because it's not just Tesla and GM. Yep. Guess who else got it? Ford, yep. Ford and Lincoln got the same thing.
Yep, exactly.
So let me bring that up for you. All right, so here we go. This is Lincoln Blue Cruise. That was funny. Somebody in the comments said, I can't believe GM is doing this. I'm going to stick to Lincoln. But Lincoln got the same thing.
Guess what? Whoever your car person is of choice, they're going to get it too.
Yeah. So Lincoln has, this is called Blue Cruise, and it is top rated according to Consumer Reports. Whereas I think Popular Science considers GM's Super Cruise the top. So either way, everybody thinks is better. They think they're both better than Tesla.
Of course.
Lincoln Blue Cruise allows the driver to take their hands off the steering wheel while keeping their eyes on the road on certain roadways, while the system accelerates, brakes, and steers the vehicle in the lane. The system uses a driver-facing camera to ensure that the driver is paying attention to the roadway while the system is actively providing support. Okay, so there you go. Lincoln's got the same thing as GM.
You can't get away from it. It's coming for you.
It's coming at you. I think I made people a little bit upset because I put an idea forth. They enacted some legislation. Let me see. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act directed NHTSA to issue a final rule establishing a federal motor vehicle safety standard that requires new passenger vehicles to have advanced drunk and impaired driving prevention technology by 2024. So people were saying, how does NHTSA have the right to do this? Well, it looks like the U.S. government has told them that they need to do this. They didn't just assume this responsibility. So NHTSA has to come up with this. And what I think will happen was they will piggyback this distracted driving technology to also be able to tell if you are drunk. And I was throwing out an idea. It was just an idea that I thought that maybe what they might do is when you first get the car, right, they'll have you repeat like a phrase or a set of phrases to get a baseline on how you sound when you're you're not drunk, right? They'll maybe say, hey, I'm looking up at the sky and I see the stars in the sky or whatever. And then if it sees you driving erratically, it's starting to sense that you might be drunk, it'll say repeat the phrase. And if you repeat it and you sound drunk, then it might pull over. And then I was just thinking out loud. I was like, what if the car calls the cops on you?
You're going to jail.
Because I was just thinking out loud and people got mad. Oh man, they're so mad.
Of course it could. Of course it could. All the GM cars have OnStar. It's got a direct link.
Yeah, so it was like,
this dumb bitch is drunk. If it looks for a baseline, you just have to start driving that truck when you're already drunk, and then you just got to stay that way all the time.
Oh yeah, the first phrase is you drunk, so any other phrase is just going to match.
Exactly. Then all of a sudden, if you're more clear, it can like talk back to you, like, "Wow, you're doing really good today. You must be having a good day."
Oh man, that's funny.
That's good. Yeah, the cars would make you start doing circus tricks. All right, you didn't do the phrase right, but if you can touch your nose while your eyes are closed, you know what I mean, and start doing all these goofy things inside of your car, then you can drive.
I want you to step, bump, bump, step, bump, bump. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, bump, bump, step, bump, bump. Hot beret, kickball change, step, clap.
Because I know we're laughing and everything, but people really get hurt from drunk drivers. And I thought maybe that's what they'll do in the future. I don't know for sure, but if the car really thinks you're drunk, don't you think they would have alert the authorities? Do you think they should?
I think, no. Well, maybe. If it's me, which I would never do such a thing. I would never do such a thing. No, but if let's just say it was, I would just, best case scenario, just don't let the car drive. How about that? Don't call a cop and be like, "Hey, dummy, you got that 12-foot screen in front of all these cars now. Like, hey, dummy, just go to bed.
Yeah, just go to sleep."
I'll unlock this sucker later. Or I'll even call you a cab. They can do that too.
Yeah, maybe they can just call you a cab.
Yeah, let's keep the law out of this.
Yeah, I thought that's what a lot of people might say, but it kind of makes sense. I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not a lawyer, but would that be legal?
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
With a car to call the cops on you?
Yeah, well, the problem is what happens if it's wrong. Yeah, and then you get all these like suspicious calls. Then the car would disable, sits on the side of the road. You have some cop to come up to you, check you. Oh, you're not drunk. You just were distracted. And then he's got to like reset it somehow. Like, what a pain in the ass that would be.
Yeah.
I see all kinds of problems. This is why I drive old shit.
A lot of people say it. So speaking of that, let's look at some of the comments from the last video.
Oh, please. I want to see this.
People were upset.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up, the comments. Okay, so this was from Mr. Patrick. So he said, "I can't drive home from the dentist after my root canal because I can't repeat the phrase correctly. Screw that. I'll save money and keep my older cars.
That's right.
So I just said, well, it'll only ask you to repeat the phrase after you have been observed to be driving irregularly. If you drive normal, no phrase will be requested. And then he said, yeah, I guess you won't be able to drive with a head cold or strep throat either. Which is a good point.
Sure.
And then he said, what if you swerve to avoid something in the road and it wants you to say the phrase? How about we just let people drive their cars and keep the government out of it?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, you do have a point there and some valid concerns. So let's talk about that. Dane, do you think he has a point?
Yeah. But the other point is you can kill somebody.
Yeah.
Right? That's, yeah. One of the number one crashes is from drunk people and tired people.
Yeah.
Tired people are just as dangerous as drunk people. You're not paying attention, sleep deprived. Hell, even if your car's got the autopilot, you can obviously crash some bitch. Those are the ones you got to get mad at. It's not the government. There wouldn't be any government regulations if these dummies weren't falling asleep in their car in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe my phrase idea needs a little work. Maybe some fine tuning. I mean, it was just throwing it out there, but I was trying to think about it from a legal perspective. So I looked up, and it looks like driving is not a right; it's a privilege. So it's not. You don't have the right to drive in the country. You have the right to move around the country, from state to state. But driving a car, to do that is not a right.
Correct.
However, people feel like privacy is a right. So the question is, do you have the right to privacy in your car? I don't know.
Yeah, would that fall under what amendment is that where you're safe from unlawful search and seizure of stolen property?
Yeah, I forget which one, but yeah, they cite that, and they combine a couple of them to get what's called the right to privacy. But I don't know.
I'm completely on board with that. I mean, I want to keep the government out of as many things as possible. I get the argument for both sides, but I'm going to follow keeping the government out of it. And then, hey, if you know someone that's driving their car and they're falling asleep at the steering wheel, smack them, because they're the ones causing these problems for us. They're the ones because calls all the nannies, because now the government's got to get involved and say, hey, GM, hey, Ford, start offering these technologies. You got to have safeties in place, and then it just sucks. And you know what else? It makes it more expensive.
Yeah, people mention that.
Yep.
It's going to be more expensive. So the vehicles that have some of this technology, there are a whole bunch of them. Okay, so this is an article from Consumer Reports, and they're talking about Ford's Blue Cruise remains Consumer Reports top-rated active driving assistance system. So I'm going to show you some of the other ones that have it. Since our last test in late 2022, we've added systems from 3 other automakers into the mix: Jaguar Land Rover, Lucid, Subaru, Hyundai, Nissan, and Benz also has it. Benz, they have their system also includes a front camera. They have it to where it's so advanced that you don't have to be looking forward at all time. You just have to be in the seat, I think, basically.
Yeah, there's everybody's coming out with it now with that lane departure thing and the distance control. Have you driven a vehicle with any of those features yet?
Yeah, when I worked at Toyota, the Prius had adaptive cruise control.
Yep.
We used to test that, but yeah, it had adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. But I don't remember having to test out any distracted driver technology. But I was working there back in 2018, so that's like 5 years ago. That's ancient history now.
Yeah,
they probably got it by now.
That's right. That's all current product now.
So here we go. These are just different systems that have the advanced driver assistance. You got Ford, GM, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Toyota, Lexus, Nissan, Infiniti, Volkswagen, Audi, Tesla, of course, Lucid, Rivian, Subaru, Hyundai, Kia, then Genesis. The Genesis one has a facial recognition, a facial detection technology, like you know where you can use your phone to unlock, or you can use your face to unlock your iPhone.
Yeah.
They have something like that where you can show the thing your face.
Oh, so you can like save like driver preferences and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
So that's on their electric Genesis
Mm-hmm.
car. So yeah, so Hyundai, Nissan, freaking just about everybody.
Everybody's got this, yeah.
So this is not, because people were in the comments like, I don't like you, GM. GM is terrible. I wish GM was never here.
They're all the same bed. Yeah.
Now, one other thing I wanted to mention, people were saying that they felt that GM had a responsibility to tell the government that they didn't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And my point is like, there is no OEM that is going to tell the government, we're not doing your regulation that you're coming down with. They can't say stuff like that.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I was going to say, we both know this because we've been on that side of things.
Yeah.
You know, when you're told you need to meet, the EPA says you need to meet a certain regulation, you don't get to say that's stupid because, and we're not going to do it because.
Yeah.
It's your gonna, or it's your ass. And
yeah, like you going to do this.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars if you don't do it, or millions of dollars if you don't do it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Keep getting fined until you fix it. Yeah, there's no not doing it.
Yeah.
You should know your role and shut your mouth.
They seem to think, they'd be like, we want GM to tell them that our customers don't want it and we're going to take a stand. And I'm like, look, GM has to follow the laws. If you want to take a stand, you need to call your congressman or your senator or vote whichever presidential candidate is going to be against us, because it is not up to any OEM. Toyota is not going to tell the government no. Yeah. GM, Mercedes, no. I mean, the most they'll do is they'll try to do a regulation, and if they seriously cannot, then they might say something like, look, we can't meet this standard, but we could do this instead. Or, you know, they could try to do stuff like that. But if you don't like this technology, that is between you and the government, and you have to call your congressman. Not you putting stuff in my comment section, not going to help nothing.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you nailed it.
Oh.
Yep. It's your government officials. You elected them, or the majority of people wherever you live did. And that's, unfortunately, they got more power than they know what to do with, at least efficiently and effectively.
So, Dane, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
If let's say you wanted to buy a new Silverado, right?
Yep.
And one of the Silverados had this technology in it with the facial recognition camera, and it could do the lane keep assist and all that. And the other one just did not have it, and they were the same exact price. Everything else the same. Which one would you buy?
I buy the one without the stuff.
Yeah.
Because so I've driven vehicles with the lane keep assist, the adaptive cruise control, and I don't like it. I just turn it off.
Yeah.
So if it was there, I wouldn't use it, which sucks. A lot of times they won't stay off, or they don't go all the way off, or they don't remember that you turned it off. So you're always having to, like, every time you get in the car, just turn these things off. But I pay enough attention. I feel like turning those things on makes me pay less attention, which is not good.
Yeah.
So I just standard cruise control, if anything, and then I'll hold the wheel and I'll do the rest.
Do you agree with me that if you're going to use these systems, that the camera is necessary, because people can rig you just having your hand on the steering wheel is, people could easily rig it. Like, people are putting weights on their Tesla steering wheel. They got little fake plastic hands you can mold on there, and they're falling asleep.
Yeah, I saw they're like dangling a tennis ball, and then it was like just kind of like bumping up against the steering wheel, and that was enough to keep it active and going.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. It can be easily fooled. So, but if you don't know that it's not a real cruise control, or not cruise control, but a real autopilot, you're asking for trouble. You don't take a nap. You're putting not only yourself at risk, but other people at risk. And you've seen some of those crashes. And if you do those things, knowingly doing these things, You're the reason the rest of us hate you.
Yeah.
You
Are you
brought us on yourself.
Are you concerned that the government may abuse this technology in the future?
Yeah, but guess what? You got something in your pocket that they can do the same thing with.
Yeah.
Right. You know, they know where you're going. Every time you turn your phone on, if they wanted to, they can. You got a camera facing you at all times. When you're looking at your phone. That camera can be looked through too without you knowing about it. So I don't know. 6 of one, half
Yo,
dozen of the other, man.
I know somebody who said that uh, they their wife had somebody who was in like one of those agencies. I don't know if it's FBI or CIA,
Yeah.
and he was outside with him, and he was like, "Watch, I could turn my sister phone on while we out here." And he turned on the microphone and heard exactly what they were saying, and they were none the wiser.
Yeah.
So that's not direct evidence, but I did hear this. So
Yeah, there's 100% possibilities that, or that those are capabilities for people that want to use them or need to use them. But guess what? There's 360 some odd million people in this country. Plus, you're talking about globally too. If we're talking about cars across the world, you can look at a couple people at a time. Unless you give these people a reason to look at you, they're not going to look at you. There's not enough people to look at you.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there were better safeguards on our privacy, but I don't know. I just don't think there are. I don't think they can help themselves. But I mean, like Dane said, you already have your phone. The phone already has a camera in it too.
Yeah.
If you try this on your phone when you get home, if you got an iPhone or Android, start talking about something for like 10 or 15 minutes. Just be like, man, I really wish I had a home loan. I wish I could afford a home loan. I wonder what the interest rate is on a home loan. And I'll bet you should go on the internet the next time, it'll show you ads for a home loan. Is listening to you.
Yeah, you're gonna have articles popping up on your Google Drive being like, "This is what the current interest rates are." Hey, it's the bet. Yep, it's all gonna start floating in.
I mean,
you're already being followed. It's just one more thing.
I mean, I don't like it either, but I mean, it is what it is. I wish I could go back to 1991 just like you guys, but you know.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, we can go back to flip phones. You know, we can go back to cars with carburetors.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't mind going back to the 90s, but it's just not possible, unfortunately.
No, we gotta learn to live with it. Move forward or get left behind.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got for you guys today. It's not just GM. Everybody's doing it. We are hoping that this technology does not get abused by the government. If you don't like this technology, don't get mad at GM or Ford or Mercedes or everybody else and their mama who has these systems. You got to call your congressman, because the OEMs have to do what the government says.
Yeah, and publicly shame these people that keep falling asleep while they're driving with their autopilot on.
Yeah, man.
They're the root of all this evil.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in and have a good one.
That's right. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.